Going behind the mic now, the other side of the country, Jon Keen, the voice of the Kamloops Blazers. John, it's been a few years since the club has been to round 2 of the playoffs. What are the expectations this year? I know not off to the best start in Kamloops.
Yeah, Patrick, this team really has graduated a lot of their top talent onto pro hockey, and that's been a bit of an issue as far as getting off to a clean start this season. You look at 3 20-year-olds that are eligible to come back but did not come back because of signing pro contracts. You have goaltender Connor Ingram, who's really backstopped this club the last 2.5 seasons and has gone to World Juniors and been the man. Devin Sidoroff, who scored 40 goals last season, who is in the Anaheim Ducks system, and also import Rudolf Balcers, who scored 40 last year as well and has signed a contract with San Jose. So on top of those 3, the graduation of your 3 20-year-olds who were all impact players last season, and this club is yet to really find its footing here going into the new season.
Wanted to look at the players with NHL ties on your club, most notably Garrett Pilon, draft pick of the Washington Capitals. Fans that remember his father, Rich, who played with the Islanders, and a few guys with ties to Dallas, Dylan Ferguson and Ondrej Vala. Tell us about those guys.
Yeah, Ondrej Vala basically went to training camp of the Dallas Stars a couple of years ago, and he impressed there, and they offered him a free agent contract. And I think a lot of people around the Blazers were surprised, but with that said, he earned the deal, and I think it's given him some confidence, and now he's back for his 3rd season with the club. The native of the Czech Republic is a big anchor on the blue line for the team. You mentioned Garrett Pilon as well, signed player for the Washington Capitals after being a 3rd-round pick in last summer's NHL draft. Top centerman on the team, and is really the only forward of the top 5 scorers last season that is back, and comes back with 20 goals. He's more of a playmaker, more of a setup man, but he's a key guy as well. And then you mentioned Dylan Ferguson, the goaltender, waiting in the wings with Connor Ingram, finally getting his chance to be the number 1 guy. He went to Las Vegas training camp and impressed there, and also just recently signed a NHL entry-level contract. So those are 3. They're a big part of the team, 1 in every position, and they will be the 3 this team looks upon here for leadership.
The man at the head of it all is someone familiar to hockey fans from his time with Hockey Canada and the Calgary Flames as well, Don Hay, and I believe he's from the Kamloops area. Tell us about what that means to have him behind the bench. And you and I were talking before we hit the record button, possibly chasing a milestone, but possibly not.
In a roundabout way, he's the face of the franchise. He really is. He was here back in the glory days, either as a head coach or an assistant. Worked with Ken Hitchcock for numerous years as well. Then left for a long time, not only NHL, but also, other junior stops. He won a Memorial Cup with the Vancouver Giants, had some success with the Tri-City Americans, and now he's back in Kamloops. Really, you can look at it as a retirement job. It's his 4th year now behind the bench, and he's chasing down some WHL history, trying to catch Ken Hodge, the longtime head coach of the Portland Winterhawks, for most all-time wins behind a WHL bench. Now, we started the season 22 wins behind Hodge's mark of 742. We speak now, and he's still 22 wins behind Ken Hodge and that all-time record. So the question is, does this team have 22 wins in it? I think it does, but the start isn't great, 0-5, as we mentioned. So we'll be watching a lot of this here down the stretch, and that'll be a story plays out here in the league for sure.
Well, we'll see if his team can pull it together. You mentioned he's there a long time, back to the glory days. Storied history in Kamloops. Who would be some of the chief rivals of the Blazers now and over the years? Teams that really get the fans there fired up when they come to town.
Well, the geographical rival would be the Kelowna Rockets. It's the classic rivalry of 2 cities that one city thinks it's better than the other, and the other city doesn't like that very much. And people in the Okanagan and Kelowna thinks everything is much better than Kamloops and calls Kamloops the low-rent district, and everyone in Kamloops would think that everyone in Kelowna is stuck up and too good, right? There's your classic rivalry, and then you take it onto the ice as well. And these 2 teams have met back-to-back years in the playoffs. Both teams have been very good and really all guns blazing the last 2 seasons. The Blazers almost pulled off a massive upset 2 years ago. It went to Game 7 in the first round. And overtime, no one was giving the Blazers a chance to win that series. They're saying might be over in 3, and it went all the way to 7 and overtime. So that was fantastic. Last season, both clubs again really good, key players. Kelowna really found their game in the last 2 months of the season after the Blazers really had their way with them in the season series. and Kelowna 1-6 last season. So there's your number one rival for sure. There's other BC Division rivals, Vancouver, Prince George, but nothing gets the blood going like the Kelowna Rockets, I don't think.
Well, we can all relate to that. The lifeblood of junior hockey, as it were, the rivalries that every team has. We thank you for telling us all about everything Blazers related. We'll see if you can get the season on track. Thanks for this and good luck, Jon.
All right, Patrick, appreciate those words. You have a great season.
That's Jon Keen, the voice of the Kamloops Blazers of the WHL. You're listening to Carstar, Cape Breton Screaming Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB.